Call to order this meeting of the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. I would note that the board did meet in executive session to discuss matters permitted under law, including litigation, real estate, and personnel. I would note that all commissioners are present and accounted for. And so at this moment, I would ask that we say the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. And would ask if one of our guests, Mary Jane Fry, could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Excellent job, Mrs. Fry. Wonderfully done. For purposes of disclosure, Mary Jane is my sister-in-law.
And she lives in a mighty third.
Mighty third, and it's probably the last meeting she'll ever attend. First up on the agenda is petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Do we have anybody who wishes to address the board tonight? Yes, ma'am. Step to the podium, state your name and address, and keep your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Patty Smith, 4218 Kirkwood Road. I'm wondering if there's going to be comment period under the Sewer Authority report and the new business.
There will not. There will not.
Okay, then I would like to address both right now.
Sure.
Two separate issues. Regarding the zoning hearing board, are you going to be stating what the process is to apply for that vacancy? Not sure what you're going to be discussing tonight under new business.
Okay.
Is that what you're going to be discussing?
This is not a Q&A session. This is where people come to address comments. This very topic was addressed at our last two meetings, in which the process was laid out.
Okay.
So as a matter of courtesy, I'll let you know that we do have a vacancy on the zoning hearing board, and we are actively looking to fill it.
Okay. Secondly, Sewer Authority. I have a question regarding Vartan's property at the corner of Lingelstown Road and Progress Avenue regarding capacity in the Oakhurst Interceptor. Has the Board of Commissioners looked at the available capacity in the Interceptor? And if not, when are they planning on doing so?
You can address your questions separately to Mr. Kratzer, but I can tell you in generally, this is an advisory function of the Susquehanna Township Authority. And I don't know that the Board of Commissioners are steeped in sewer capacity issues at this point.
So you have no, you're not being informed on what's going on with the Vartan property in that regard?
I would say that's a leading question that leads nowhere. And that
was
again, this
just
is not a
a
Q&A
lesser
session. And third, I just asked you if you could address this privately with Mr. Kratzer, who is the Sewer Authority Manager.
I have attempted to do so, which is why I'm here now.
Okay.
What
Anything
have you
else?
attempted to do?
I have attempted through right to know request to find out the information on that topic.
Again,
and
the
have gotten nowhere.
the authority has not taken any action on the planning module at this point, and that's been communicated multiple times, and you're aware of that.
Yes, but that wasn't my question. My question was specifically geared towards the capacity.
Again, as President Lynch noted, the sewer authority will evaluate the capacity and make a determination as to the sufficiency of capacity in its system.
Yes, I was just asking what the status was.
The authority has not taken action on that at this point. The consulting engineer is continuing to review the issue relative to capacity.
And would that be GHD or
That is
has that been
that is
determined?
GHD. That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board tonight? Okay. Moving on to approval of minutes from our July 12th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second. Moved and second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The July 26th workshop meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the August 2nd bid opening for gasoline and diesel fuel.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, tonight, moving on, we have a special presentation, and it's an annual event by the Rotary Club of Susquehanna Township, and we're very pleased that they take the time and effort to recognize a vital aspect of our community, and that's our police department. And I believe this is the third year, Chief, that the fourth year that a member of our police department has been honored by the Rotary as their Officer of the Year. So I would leave it. Is Mr. Fuller here?
No, I'm the president of the club. I'm here, Linda Spots.
Hi, Linda Spots. Can you come forward along with, Chief, Commissioner Engel, and our honoree?
Pardon? Shall I speak into here?
Please do.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for having me come here this evening to present the award to Patrol Officer First Class Chris Haynes. And on my name, Linda Spots, president of the Susquehanna Rotary Club, and on behalf of all of our club members, we are very honored and proud to be able to extend this honor to the individual Chris Haynes, who was selected by Chief Rob Martin. So we thank you very much. And I learned today that it was between Rob Martin and Dan Fuller several years back that came up with this award. And I'm just so happy that we do have that. And having the police in this township and protecting and safety for everyone, and the individuals that Rob has selected over the years have been truly tremendous individuals. So on behalf of our club, I thank you very much. And thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just going to take a couple moments here and give the floor to Patrol Officer First Class Haynes. 4 years ago, Mr. Fuller came to me and said, what can we do for the community, for the township? I said, honor our officers. Honor our officers with an Officer of the Year. And they stepped right into it. And, it's given me great pleasure to see our officers honored every year and see this go on. It's not an easy task selecting an Officer of the Year from a department that is packed full of Officers of the Year. It truly is. And some of them are here. I know there's a Rotary Officer of the Year alumnus. Officer Ferrafino's in the audience back there, proudly. But I want to thank the Rotary Club of Susquehanna Township for honoring our officers. The officer that's before you entered service with us on October 22nd, 2001. And through his almost 18 years, has served this township, the citizens, you as a board, in a noble and honorable fashion. I was thinking last night what I wanted, of all the things that I could say about Chris, I would say this. If any American thinks about what it is they want to see in their American policing, what they want to see in that police officer, I guarantee you it's Chris Haynes. A man of integrity, a man who has a good and pure heart, a man who has touched the citizens of this township and those who've passed through this township for over 17 years in such a positive fashion that has represented this government with excellence. So, he's been in many different assignments, and really to define his character, I would say this. We're a little short-handed right now for a lot of different reasons, and he is usually in the Community Technical Support Unit, but a couple months ago I said, I've got to keep you, I got to put you back in patrol, which means midnight shift, so that the platoons are up where they need to be. And he didn't hesitate. He's a team player, and he is an NCO, and he's a leader, and he carries on that. It wasn't something that he, not everything that we do we have to like. And, but we do carry through with the mission. And he's a mission-oriented man. So I'm very proud that he's receiving this award tonight. So Chris, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much. First, I'll start off. It won't take very long. You'll figure I'm not a public speaker at all. This award, very motivational for me. I've always enjoyed my job here at Susquehanna. And over the last, we'll say year and a half, I've learned a lot of things about life. I learned sometimes you just need to stop and think about life. And if you have a bad occurrence happen to you, you need to see how you can make that positive. I believe I had to do that many times over. And I think that I'm a better person for this. And I'm thinking that those couple things I had to deal with personally in my life is going to make me a better police officer. I believe that now I'm going to be able to relate to a lot of people more that I wasn't able to relate to, we'll say, in the last 2 or 3 years. So I just want to thank first the commissioners for the support. Thanks for the chief for the support. Thanks for Ms. Spots for the support tonight. And I'm going to do my very best to continue as a police officer and to do the best that I can for this township.
Thank you.
I don't know how we do this, but anyways, thank you again
Can't repeat word that way.
so much. And your speech today, he had already given a presentation. We had presented this to him before, and we took it away from him. But now we're giving it to him so that he can keep and cherish. And thank you for sharing with us today some of the roadblocks and challenges that you had. And what I really remember from him is how he talked about it really is the positive attitude and keeping a positive attitude in all that he does. So I thank you so much. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chris, I'd just like to add, knowing you just a little bit, but on a personal and not a professional level, that you really are a credit to, you've been on the police department just a little bit over the amount of time that I've been on this board, which is a heck of a long time. As Mr. Sanderson will attest. But in that time, I've come to see that you're a true credit, not only to the department and to the township, but also your family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Well, that cleared out the room. Okay. All right, moving on to reports of committees, buildings and grounds. Commissioner?
No report, Mr. President.
Okay. Budget and Finance, Commissioner Sanderson?
Thank you. Very briefly. The Budget and Finance Committee has made its 5-year budget projections available to all commissioners. And each meeting, we take this opportunity to bring up any questions or opportunities for improvement to any line item in the budget. Future budgets are, of course, projections. They are estimated best guesses based upon the best information that we have. And I don't think we've yet come up with any questions about that we couldn't answer. But I did want to note that our minutes are starting to reflect some open discussion on different parts of the budget and how to influence the revenues and expenses that we are faced. So at this point, I don't have anything extra to add, the budget being what it is, but I would like each commissioner to take an opportunity now to raise a hand and ask a question about any particular line item of the budget. And if there are none, then I conclude my report.
Thank you.
A number of commissioners have reached out to yourself and to Mr. Kratzer personally, and it was a great invitation. And it really is a chance to explore line items that we don't typically get a chance to be exposed to, or when we are exposed to them, we kind of glaze over because they're very dull. But it's a good process, and I would encourage any commissioner to reach out to Dave or Sean or both and try to get your questions answered as a way to responsibly balance a budget for 2019.
Yes, and for the next 4 years after that. The second part of my report is that in the minutes that we had just approved, you'll recall that I brought up a new law called the PACE program. Pennsylvania legislature just instituted it. Pennsylvania is now among 33 other states, I think, that allows municipalities to create energy efficiency programs, energy, water, all sorts of utilities. And I want to start having an open discussion about the support of the board to create such a local ordinance. There's certainly no need to take a vote on it now, but for purposes of discussion, just to remind everybody, the ordinance does not require the township to take on debt or handle finances. It merely establishes the township as a place, a boundary that that creates the program and enables businesses to, not homeowners under state law, but businesses to improve their services, their internal business structures by upgrading the material that they use, the systems that they use. When they go out and they take normal business loans, they can mention to the business loaner, the bank, whoever it might be, that the township has created this program.
Okay.
And that changes how businesses pay those loans. It lowers the cost of business, but it improves the business and it improves the township. It's an incentive, it's a carrot for businesses to stay in Susquehanna Township, to locate in Susquehanna Township, and gives them a competitive edge. If that's interesting to you, I certainly would like to have a conversation about it now, or perhaps at a later time. But I would like Mr. Kratzer to work with us in the next several sessions, in preparing more information as the board might need to understand this, and perhaps develop a draft ordinance that would enable us to implement the program. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Public Works, Commissioner Napa.
Yes, Mr. President. The Public Works report for the month of July. The Public Works Department installed new signs, repaired damaged signs, and thermoplastic pavement markers, which are used primarily in the roadways and highway traffic areas such as the crosswalks, the stop bars, and direction arrows. In the first ward, trees located in the alleyways were manicured. And in the 2nd, 8th, and 9th ward, numerous repairs were made to sinkholes as a result of failing storm pipes. The 4th ward is now being scheduled for repairs. And as a final note, Mr. President, August 1st marks the 1-year anniversary of our Public Works Director, Mr. Nate Spriggs. So,
Where's the cake?
Commissioner Johnson will have cake and ice cream located in the rear room for you, sir. So and this ends my report.
And ice cream. And the report.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, Dave. Health and Sanitation, Commissioner Barczyk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just 2 brief items. The next scheduled yard waste pickup by Penn Waste will be Saturday, August 18th, so please have your containers to the curb prior to 6 a.m. that morning. Also, I've received several inquiries regarding Penn Waste's new recycling guidelines, as I'm sure many of you have as well. The new recycling guidelines are posted on the township's website as well as Penn Waste's website. And there also have been questions about some of the items that have been, Penn Waste claims they're no longer going to collect. One of those is office paper, I think, magazines, and then the glossy cardboard boxes. They're collecting corrugated cardboard, which is the heavier cardboard, but they say that they're no longer collecting the boxes like things that breakfast cereals come in. This, as many residents have pointed out, it would be a burden on those residents, especially the ones on the paper bag program. So we've asked our solicitor to review the contract to determine the legality of the changes. And once we have more information, we'll put that forward. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Administration and Personnel, Commissioner Napper.
No report, sir.
Thank you. Police, Commissioner Engel.
Thank you. Just to a very short report, Tuesday night was National Night Out, and Susquehanna Township Police Department had their National Night Out Tuesday at Veterans Park, and they played a softball game against the Penn Live reporters. And I'm happy to report that the police department smoked them. 9-2.
It's a non-smoking field.
They smoked them with their speed.
I think it was the pitching.
I think it was the pitching, too. That's correct.
one of these.
And that concludes my report.
Excellent report. Thank you.
I know.
Fire and EMS, Commissioner Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of items. The Susquehanna Township Volunteer Fire Companies plan to apply for Department of Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighter grants, which should be opening in September or October. In addition, they are also putting in applications for local share grant with the county for debt reduction from recent equipment purchases and construction that have taken place. And we are a little more than about 13 or 14 months out from the renovation of the public safety building behind our building. And at this point, there are one of the reasons for doing that was to increase rescue fire companies' capacity for a live-in program. They had a small program on the facility on 6th Street, but they want to really enhance it and make it more robust. And I believe there are now 5 live-ins in the public safety building, so they are building slowly but surely. And one of the things we discussed in the public safety committee meeting we had in July was the fact that, you know, Rescue Fire Company, or I'm sorry, Progress Fire Company has a very well-running live-in program, and because of the demand, that may enable folks who don't make it into the Progress live-in company to come over and still run with rescue. So we've got that tie-in as well. So it's going to help the township. The live-in program is great. Think of it like an apprenticeship where people can come and learn how to become firefighters, be here for a couple of years or more, and really ply their trade, and then move on to bigger and better. We've reported out before about live-ins in Susquehanna Township getting jobs in Baltimore, New York City, Philadelphia. So it's a really great program. So, and that will conclude my report.
Great.
Thank you.
Commissioner. Recreation, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, President Lynch. The playground and renovation project at Veterans Memorial Park has come to a close, and we now have 2 wonderful playgrounds at our busiest parks. The project includes the construction of 2 age-appropriate playgrounds for children of all abilities. The new poured in place play safety surface. Try to say that. A couple times. Is a first for the township, and the ramp system for the larger play structure makes the playground very accessible for wheelchairs. The addition of the face-to-face swings on the smaller playground have been a hit. These swings allow a parent and a toddler to swing together while enjoying each other's facial expressions. Renovations to the restrooms and curbing and sidewalks have been a part of the project, with the addition of potable water and a water fountain. The Recreation Advisory Committee is working on a ribbon cutting ceremony to officially open the new playgrounds on Wednesday, September 12th at 6 p.m. We would love for the community to attend. And that concludes my report.
Great.
Mr. President,
Yes.
may I make a quick comment in relation to that recreation report?
Certainly.
For whatever it's worth, I just want to thank the Recreation Advisory Committee, Bob Reichert, and the recreation staff here in Susquehanna Township. Emily Fleming gives the new playground an A+. We were at National Night Out, and it was just, I mean, I remember the way it was before, and they did an outstanding job. So really kudos to Recreation Advisory Committee, Bob, the recreation staff, Betsy, Dave for their leadership on the township side. It's just spectacular. They did an excellent job. So thank you. Much appreciated.
Good to hear. Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Rothrock, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes. There was a Planning Commission meeting held on July 23rd. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but I understand there were a number of ordinances discussed. No action really was taken by the commission, and nothing was forwarded to this board for action tonight.
Okay.
That concludes my report.
Great. Thank you. All right, bids and agreements. Midstate Paving, LLC. This is the Union Deposit Sidewalk Payment Application number 2. And I do not have a figure on that. Mr. Grubik? or
Yes,
Mr.
Mr. President, members of the board, we have before us this evening application for payment number 2 for the Union Deposit Sidewalk Project. The contractor is Midstate Paving from Middleburg, PA. The project is moving along very nicely, and we would recommend payment number 2 be approved in the amount of $120,550.73. Just as an update, approximately 60% of the project is finished to date, and the contractor expects to be done by late summer.
Move to approve that payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
With thanks.
Thanks. Any questions or comments?
They're moving fast out there.
They're doing a great job.
Great job.
Mr. Grubik, are they all done with the paving part along the gulch, along the
Yes.
gully?
Yeah,
All right, so that's the way it's going to be?
That's done, yes.
Great. That was
That's
really the
finished.
trickiest part.
And as you know, they're moving east up towards the Lower Paxton Township line.
Yep.
But the only thing material left to do is the adjustments to the pedestrian crossings between the north and south side of Union Deposit Road, between the Union Square Shopping Center and Dolphin Plaza on the north side. That will be the last thing to be done, but the construction of the sidewalk itself is moving along very nicely.
Great. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, vehicles and forklift for sale. Authorization to sell. Mr. Kratzer, you want to take this?
Sure, I'd be happy to, Mr. President. Again, as the board is aware, the board had authorized us to advertise these vehicles via municipal bid. The bid process proceeded in accordance with law, and we're seeking authorization this evening to accept the following bids for excess vehicles and a forklift. So there's a 2004 Ford Crown Victoria. The high bid on that vehicle was $800. As I noted to you, that vehicle is currently inoperable. That vehicle was involved in a motor vehicle accident. There were insurance proceeds that were provided, and we're simply disposing of essentially the scrap vehicle, if you will. So again, that vehicle is $800. There was a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria. The high bid on that is $2,790. There was a 2014 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor. The high bid on that was $7,422. And then there was a 1975 Clark forklift. The high bid on that was $1,025. We've reviewed the bids. The bids are consistent with the approximated value of these pieces of equipment, and we're seeking authorization to dispose of these items to the respective high bidders. So moved.
Mr. Windauer, can we approve them in a block, or do we need to break them down?
You can approve them in a block.
Okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Sanderson.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rothrock. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, gasoline and diesel fuel award. We already referenced the bid opening of August 2nd.
Right, so again, this was an item that was previously discussed. The board had authorized us to go out to bid, to seek bids for both gasoline and diesel fuel. Again, as I reported, the gasoline is just for miscellaneous gasoline use. As you know, we transitioned to a fuel card for fleet use. This is primarily for fuel related to small pieces of equipment, chainsaws, mowers, and the like. And then, as you know, irrespective of the transition to the fleet card system, we maintain diesel just for purposes of being able to, for snow response and those kinds of things. So the part of the bid was also involving diesel fuel. Again, as you noted in the minutes that you approved, we received a bid from Talley Petroleum. Again, the way that's priced is it's priced on an index plus a certain additional cost, which really covers delivery and the like. And staff has reviewed that bid and is recommending approval to the Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
In light of the comment on Veterans Park, I thought I should have brought it up earlier, but Mr. Grubik, it seems to me that that project moved quickly. Wasn't it completed within, 2 months ahead of time?
It was completed about less than 60 days ahead of time, yes.
Yes.
And the contractor, T.R. Stoner, was the same contractor that did the Edgemont Park, and he did a fine job at both locations.
Thank you for your oversight.
Okay, we have no ordinances or resolutions this meeting. Unfinished business, is there any?
There is nothing, Mr. President, to report under our unfinished business.
So reports. Mr. Kratzer, do you have anything to report?
I have nothing further to report.
Okay. Chief, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Wendauer, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. President. I provided to the board a copy of a memorandum of understanding that we prepared. Pembroke is the other party to that. The short of it is East Harrisburg Cemetery, the current tax assessment rolls identified as being fully situated in Susquehanna Township. The actual layout of that is partly in Pembroke, partly in Susquehanna Township. It's never been an issue since it's a cemetery and taxes are not being collected on it. Pembroke is looking to do some stormwater activity on a portion of it and take advantage of some stormwater credits. So to get that identified properly in the tax rolls so they can do that, they've requested that we sign this memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? So will this need to be filed with the county to become a record?
No, it will not. So, no, it's actually just a change in the tax assessment because the deed is already recorded and it identifies the property boundaries. So it's really just an issue in the tax assessment office itself, which shows it's fully in Susquehanna.
Okay. All right, great.
So this is not a change of the boundary, it's simply a recognition that the boundary runs through the cemetery.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Wendauer?
Nothing, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Fire Marshal, got anything back there?
We're good.
All right.
Great, actually.
Yeah, okay. School Board, Commissioner Fleming?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a couple of items. The first day of school is rapidly approaching on Monday, August 22nd. This will be the class of 2019 that graduates from Susquehanna Township High School in June. So I hope all the kids are gearing up, getting off of their devices and getting their nose back into books, and it's probably not happening, but it's a wishful thought. Just a couple of items. The district is still waiting on the individual PSSA results from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. They have received the raw data, but they have not yet received the individual sheets that parents and guardians get for how their student performed last year. So as soon as they get that from the Department of Education, they will send those out. And finally, as you may have noticed, there are modular units that the district plans to construct at Thomas Holtzman Elementary School and at Sarah Lindemuth Elementary School. The township is working with the district to go through the steps and issue the permits necessary to get those constructed and to get them up and running as soon as possible for, to ensure the safety of the units as soon as possible so they can house students. So, Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Authority, Commissioner Sanderson.
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Indian Wheels, Commissioner Barczyk.
No report. I do have something for Shade Tree, though.
Okay.
Commissioner Napper had mentioned earlier that the Highway Department had done some trimming in the alleyways, and we thank them for their efforts. And I'd just like to remind residents that you need to keep your trees and hedges trimmed, even in the alleyways, because that is a road. The guidelines in our ordinance are they must be trimmed 14 feet up above any roadways or 8 feet over sidewalks, obviously, so people can walk on the sidewalk and vehicles can drive on the roads. We came up against a situation in one specific area where the hedges and the trees were so dense that Penn Waste could not get the trash truck down the alley. So we thank you for stepping in and remedying that, but that was a one-off. Folks are going to have to take ownership and, trim your trees and bushes. We will be taking an inventory and looking around and see what other alleys that needs to be addressed. So please take a look in your backyard if you have an alley behind you and make sure that everything is trimmed because you do want your trash picked up. Thank you.
Good point. Thank you.
And
Yes.
Mr. President, I just have one quick amendment to my school district report. Just wanted to get this out there as well. This was discussed at the last meeting. The district is holding a back-to-school bash community event on August 17th from 6 to 8:30 at Veterans Park, and there will be food, drinks, dunk tank, games, and prizes. So it's a community event. There will be giveaways of school supplies, backpacks, and the like. So please come out for that.
I thought there was something Saturday, the 25th at the high school, where they had face painting and stuff. Something with the radio station?
I am not familiar with that. Let me.
It's supposed to be, I just heard it on the radio, that they were announcing it, that they were working in conjunction with the school district, and they were having something, I believe, at the high school.
Okay.
They're wrong. Commissioner Justin's correct. No,
No, I'm just.
I mean, maybe something different.
Yeah,
Maybe just during the day.
Right, it may be.
Yeah, it's at the school.
But that's unfortunately that's not the information I have. So, but I hope I'm not completely wrong.
Back to school bash, free backpacks, school supplies, games and activities, Saturday, August 25th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, then
at the
I
high
do not
school.
know what I was reading from. Sorry, I'm searching for the district website because they're going to have it on there.
This is from the district.
I'm going to your event, Jeff.
Okay. Well, no. Do not attend my event because clearly I got some erroneous information. So, so it's going to be on the 25th then from 11, Commissioner?
To 2 p.m.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm describing the same event, and that's at the high school.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So maybe I got a copy of preliminary planning that was all. That has since been changed. So thank you, Commissioner, for coming to my rescue.
Put it out.
Thank you for pointing it out to us.
We'll meet you at the
I just
junk
know
tank.
because I have a very timid kindergartner and I want to take
Aw.
him. So we'll be there.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, since you messed it up, you gotta go to dunk tank first.
I'm not sure I'm making that commitment. I don't know. We'll see. I might be there. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Apologize for the error. Thank you.
Never mind. Okay. Thank you, sir. Communications. Commissioner Pine
No
communicated that he
report,
has nothing to communicate.
No report, Mr. President.
All right. Parks and Rec, I think you covered that, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Anything new?
No.
Okay. Thank you. All right, new business. Boards and commissions. Boards and commissions, vacancy. We still have a vacancy on the zoning hearing board. And I would urge anybody that's interested in serving on this board to please get your name into Mr. Kratzer. If any commissioners have a nomination, please have that individual get their expression of interest in the resume onto us as well.
Yeah, just related to that issue, at this point, we have not received anything from anyone, so just so you're aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the good news is that we do have, it's a 3-member board. We do have 2 permanent members or fully assigned members and an alternate who does not wish to jump in and assume the full-time seat, but is available as a backup.
That is correct.
Which is important to break a tie.
That is correct.
So it's good. All right, and the second item under new business is township solicitor appointment.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve Mr. Mike Miller of Eckerd Seaman for the appointment of the township solicitor.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I personally would like to thank you, Mark, for, you had a rough start. You were thrown into gosh knows what in January or February, I believe, and you really served us well. And it's not gone unnoticed, and it's certainly not appreciated. So thank you very much. It was a tough circumstance, but you pulled it together, and you really helped us out and bridged the gap. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
Mark, for your work.
Yep,
certainly
thank you.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
opportunity and happy to help.
Thank you. Okay, commissioner comments. Anybody want to comment? Chirp, chirp.
Mr. President,
There's one.
I have a quick comment.
Shocker.
I would just like to wish my wife a very happy birthday and a happy anniversary, our 17th anniversary, which is coming up on Saturday. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Happy birthday and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I have 29 years married, August 14th.
There you go. You want to wish your better half a happy
Yeah.
anniversary?
Look into the camera.
Yeah. There's going to be some Barry White playing tonight. How about that?
Okay, that's too much information.
Got to work tomorrow.
TMI is not just an island.
Not saying, I'm just saying, fellas.
Mr. President, I have a motion to pay the bills
All right.
in the amount of $614,600.93.
So moved.
It's been moved. It's been seconded. Is there any comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's a motion on the table to adjourn,
Second.
and it's seconded. Any comment?
No comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out of here.
Ooh,